Hello, my name is Paige Heinze, and I am majoring in elementary education and dance. Throughout my years in education courses, I have heard the term cross-disciplinary or cross-cutting concepts many times. I have learned about how to incorporate literature into my science lessons or perhaps math into my social studies unit, but I never would have thought of incorporating science, more specifically physics, into dance. Lucky for all of us, Laura Donnelly and Amit Chakrabarti have made it happen. It has been a truly amazing process watching these two individuals work together to develop such an amazing representation of both physics and dance. I have had the honor to be a dancer in this project for the past 3 semesters. Amit's passion for physics shines through his contagious smile. When he comes to our rehearsals or our shows, he always has a huge grin on his face. Laura is an amazing ballet teacher. She has passed so much knowledge on to me these past 3 years, both inside and outside of the classroom. My life has been forever changed for the better because of her. Both Laura and Amit have inspired me and my future teaching practices, and tonight I know they will do the same for you. Please welcome to the stage Amit Chakrabarti and Laura Donnelly.
Well, this is pretty exciting. I wanted to say thank you to Greg Eislein and K-State First, because teaching in the K-State First project is how Amit and I, in 2 such different disciplines and in buildings that are really far apart on campus, actually met. So we were at a conference, teaching and learning conference workshop that Greg put together, and we introduced ourselves like everyone. Hi, I'm from so-and-so, and I do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I said I was from dance, and Amit goes, "You're from dance? I have wanted to do a dance project for a really long time."
Well, I have tried that before, and whoever else I say this, he said, you have a dance project, you're a physicist. Why don't you go back to Cardwell Hall?
So we called our project Dare to Teach Outside the Boundaries. Because people say to me, well, how come you're working on a physics project when you're a dancer? And I said, because it's interesting. And as Amit said, people didn't want to listen to him. So our idea is that when we stay in small disciplines, it's an essential piece that you be in a small discipline in order to learn the technique of that field. But after you have mastered the vocabulary and you have mastered the tools and you have an understanding of that field, if you just stay in red, all you can make are shades of red. Sort of like inbreeding. Right? But if you consider this to be music and dance and physics, we all 3 have different languages. So we did include a musician in our collaboration, Bryce Craig. And so we're talking a music language, a movement language, and a scientific language. And so part of what we had to do is agree to look at the concept from 3 different points of view, and then also develop a new language. So this is a dancer inside of their own space bubble. To me, this is geometry.
And to me, geometry is this beautiful subject, theoretical subject, that starts with a few axioms, simple axioms, and you build a structure on that, a whole concept of theory based on that. It's just so beautiful. So we talk different languages, but we are talking about geometry. And so we can bring it together. And that's what we talk about, learning outside of the boundaries.
The other thing is, when he spoke about his idea of the molecules, which we'll tell you a little bit more about later, I said ballet would work with that very well, because ballet is very formal and structured, and the molecule in the beginning is very formal and structured. Then the change in the molecule is like a story. Ballet is always about a story. Okay, I can't click. That's Amit's.
Well, several years ago, my teenage daughter told me, "Dad, you are giving me lecture." And I said, "Yes, I earn a living doing that." So I'll give you a lecture. Why not? I mean, you showed up even after the break, you had food and drink, and you still showed up, right? All right, so why this kind of outside of the boundaries or outside of line collaborations are so difficult? It's difficult because it's not in our reward structure. Our reward structure says you have this and this rules and regulations and policies that you need to follow to get tenure, to get promotion, to get whatever. And we are trying to break that. We are trying to break that rule. We are trying to create something beautiful which is not confined to one discipline, but in between the disciplines. And so the reward structure has not caught up with our pace. And we need to get there.
So one of the things that for me is so attractive about this, and I think Amit also, is that you have shades and gradations of color, gradations of meaning, gradations of ideas, blending of things. But you have to be willing to have failure, because sometimes everything doesn't work. And Steve Forbes was here recently, and that's one of the things he said about entrepreneurship. You have to learn from your failures, and you have to go forward. So for example, if you were trying to make green, and you ended up with this, you have failed at making green. But if you're alert to discovery, you can find out that you actually made beautiful fuchsia. So you had a learning experience, so the activity wasn't failure. The failure was what you expected to get, you didn't get. Got something else. Embrace risk. Learn from failure.
We'll give you an example of that. And I brought one of these toys with me. I cannot teach without demos. It's like my security blanket, you know. So I brought this demo. This is a model of a crystal. So all these molecules are connected on a lattice, very good geometrical structure. They can vibrate. And as you heat this up, these molecules will vibrate more and more, and then they will melt. If you cool them down after they melt very quickly, they may not go back to this crystal structure. They might get stuck in a phase that we call glass. That's your window glass. If you wait long enough, it's going to flow. You call that a crack. So we talk about beautiful physics, low temperature, atoms and molecules, vibrating, quantum mechanics, melting, glass phase. But instead of the molecules, we replace them by dancers. So we start with nature's beauty. We write a mathematical expression. It's a different kind of beauty. And then we put a human expression, a human beauty, on top of this nature's and mathematical beauty. And that's what comes out. I'm not supposed to advertise for anything here, but I will. This ballet, this three-piece ballet that's going to show up this weekend in McCain. So if you don't have a ticket yet, get one. Friday and Saturday of this week. And here is an example, a short clip for you. Here what you are seeing is that a crystal melting, creating what we call short-range correlations. And the music is an essential part of this. It comes from our collaborator Bryce, who is not here, but he is an essential part of this project.
They melt out of their square. So thank you very much.
Thank you.